and welcome to another episode of Some of Our Parts, the podcast where two friends talk about the movies that add up to make us who we are. I'm Lindsay.
And I'm Jim. And this week it was Lindsay's turn to pick. So, Lindsay, what did you choose for us this week?
I picked a movie from my youth. It's from the 90s, like a lot of what I pick, but since it's summer, I picked a movie that's about summer camp. I actually think my next few picks will be summer camp themed. But this one is one I think the 90s kids really appreciate. I actually just saw on New Heights, the Kelsey Brothers podcast, they were talking about this movie. Uh,
Really?
yeah, they're close to my age. So like this is the movie they also grew up with.
Oh,
So
okay.
the movie is Heavyweights from 1995.
And I'm guessing it's not about boxing.
It is not. It is not. It's about fat camp.
Ooh, oh, okay. All right. And I'll be honest, I'd not heard of the movie and didn't know about this movie until you brought it up, and of course I'd never seen it. So you did you go see this at the movie theater?
No, I don't think so. I think it's
Oh,
one
okay.
I saw on TV or like rented from Blockbuster. I was
Uh,
reading and I think this makes sense that it didn't really do super well at the box office, but it sort of became more of a cult classic later once it was released like on video and TV. So I'm
okay.
pretty sure that that's how I saw it. And I saw it many times because there's lines from this that I know by heart and I like think of. Like
Oh, really? Okay. All right. You'll have to let
I'll
us know
I'll
as we
I'll
go
point them
through.
out. Yeah,
Okay.
as
All
I
right.
go. But yeah, and like it's a thing I think that people my age still like you'll see them in like a Perkis the Perkis system like t-shirts.
Okay.
Because you
No
can buy
Camp Hope
them.
T-shirts.
No. You got it. Perkis is like is the
Oh, okay.
star. But
Gotcha. Okay.
I think that's a more recognizable like uh symbol of the movie than King
Oh,
Pope.
okay.
Um, but yeah, so it's one that like I enjoyed watching. It's one that's interesting to watch as an adult because there's like people I recognize differently and like when we get into like the cast and the director and writers, we'll talk about that, but I think I still enjoy it. Like I still think it's funny. It's silly. It's for kids and it's actually like it's a Disney movie, but
Which I was surprised at, to be honest with you,
it's a little
when I saw
edgy.
that.
It's a little edgy
Yeah,
for Disney at
I thought the
times.
same thing, and I was trying to remember at the time, did Disney have movies coming out, and stuff at this time, around this, or was this the beginning of Disney starting to put out movies like this?
I don't
Um,
know. I mean, I think they'd probably had
mhm.
others,
Yeah,
but I mean, I guess like their live action movies, like they did like one of the ones we'll talk about soon, The Parent Trap. They did The Parent Trap with Lindsay Lohan like a couple of years after this. So
after this.
yeah, I think they had
Well,
because and they had like live action TV shows and stuff too. So I think that this probably wasn't the first, but I'm not sure like what else was
yeah,
around this. But I think yeah, it was definitely like part of the thing.
but even the Parent Trap though wasn't like, it wasn't like this,
Yeah,
when I say like this, listen, there's nothing, like raunchy or, well, there's a
right.
couple of things, but
Yeah, but it's PG. It's PG.
yeah, but even still, like, again, it surprised me to see that this was a Disney movie. After I saw it, not at the beginning, I thought, oh, it's a Disney movie, but
Hmm.
it doesn't come across that way after when you watch the movie, or at least what my conception of a Disney movie from the '90s would be.
No, for sure, for sure. Like I think they're a little more usually like kind of saccharine and like sweet. And this one's a little there is some darkness to this. There's some
There's
edge
some,
to it.
well, there is, and if you think about it, maybe in a way, and it sort of takes on a subject that nowadays I think would be very sensitive, as far
Hmm.
as that goes. But even back then, but I'm sure this was something, and I can say this because as a kid and growing up and stuff like that, I was heavy, I was overweight, and I never, my dad never sent me to fat camp or anything like that. But it
Hmm.
was always when I was watching it, and when it came on, and then like I said, I really wasn't. You had said something about that's what it was, but as it played out, it played it out in a humorous way and so on. But it did. They talked about during the time about how they felt and stuff like that, and how
Hmm.
they were
Hmm.
sort of ostracized and stuff. So
Yeah, yeah. And honestly, I think the big like diet guy thing, I think that was very big in the 90s, right? Because I think of all these like infomercials
oh
of
yeah.
like the Bowflex and the Gazelle and like the ever like then we later got like Tybo and like
Oh,
all of these things, and then there's
oh
like
yeah.
the Atkins diet and the South Beach diet and Slim Fast and Herbalife, like so many things that
Well,
people were like obsessed with.
it was always, it just seemed like there was always Richard Simmons, came into
Mm-hmm.
vogue at the time. Jane Fonda had her workout videos and stuff, and it was
Mm-hmm.
always like, you had to be, thin, and you had to, you couldn't be, any sense of being, a larger size and stuff like that. So, uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and in that way, too, I felt kind of an empathy for,
Hmm.
for the kids in the camp, and also, I thought to myself, gee, I didn't know that they made movies like this, because I could have been an actor at that age then, even though I wasn't the physical fitness specimen, that a lot of other kids were.
Not camp
So
MVP.
no, no, so, but anyway, so, but
Yeah. I was actually thinking like what would it be like if it was made this time? Because honestly, like there are people like Tony Perkis right now. They're just all on like Instagram now
yeah,
and
yeah.
like TikTok.
And I was gonna
They're
say
influencers
in TikTok, right? Yeah,
trying to teach you
well,
how to like count your macros correctly and like
what's the
lift a
one?
million weights and drink 10 gallons of water and stuff.
What's the one commercial? And I can't remember now what it's about, but it's a parody of, like, where the guy's going through and he's listening to all these. He goes, "The hot dog diet got me shredded," and stuff, and it's stuff
Mm.
like that, where you sit there and you go, "Wait a minute," it's like, is this really for real? So,
Yeah, yeah. I guess now they would just try to like give all the children Ozempic or something.
sorry, I hadn't thought about that. We're going to
I
send you
wasn't
to
either.
we're going to send you to Ozempic
Ozempic camp.
camp.
Yeah. But I do appreciate though, like watching it now as an adult, that there is this overall message that they're like, this is not like this extreme stuff being like mean and shaming them and like doing all this stuff to try to embarrass them into like feeling bad about themselves so that then they'll like lose weight. Like that doesn't work. They're like,
No,
"Hey, why don't we just like move our bodies and like try to eat stuff that's good and like we'll go from there." And it's like, "Yes, that's like what we all need to do. We don't need like to do these crazy like the gliding thing. Like
oh yeah, that was
was that a thing?
interesting.
Were people
Yeah.
doing that?
Oh yeah, yeah. You could
That's
buy.
wild.
Oh yeah, you could buy those. I remember, because when I was sick, well, watch it, because I thought, are they doing the gliding thing? Because I remember seeing that. Yeah, that was. No, I didn't buy one. I didn't have one, so didn't
That's
have the
insane.
Tybo. Didn't have the. What was the thing that Suzanne Summers did? It was the
The Thigh Master?
Thigh Master. Yeah. So
My friend's mom had one of those. I remember.
and then they had the barbell thing where you would
Oh, the
shake it,
shake
and then
weight. I my friends got me one of those as a joke.
where it keeps on. It's like perpetual motion. It just keeps
Yes.
running on its
Yes.
own.
And it looks very
Oh, it's not. Yeah, let's not.
off.
Let's let's not go there.
No. That's why
Yeah,
my friends bought me one though.
that would not get a PG rating.
No. No, it would not. But yeah, and like, I go to Pilates, that's sort of like a faddish thing, but like,
I don't know,
although
but that's
Pilates was invented like post World War II. So it's been
yeah.
around for a while.
I was getting ready to say that's not like a
It's not like a
uh,
fad in that same way.
no, no, and I mean that's got a what a sound base or whatever. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like,
It's
yeah,
not
yeah.
like
No,
some silly
it's like
nonsense.
I equate it kind of like to yoga and to Tai
Yeah.
Chi and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
where it's all movement and learning to listen to your body or whatever and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, there are people who do it to an extreme, just like everything else, that you
Yeah.
can take it to an extreme. So,
Yeah. But I did appreciate like that being kind of the message, right? That it's not like we're not here to like make you feel bad. It's just like, hey, we should all try to be healthy. Like here, let's just focus on that. And it's like, and even there's moments when they're like, oh, I wish I was like those other kids at the camp MVP or
hmm
whatever. And then it's like, no, I don't need to be like I'm cool.
hmm yeah.
Like why
Although,
should I want to be them?
although some of the clothing selections we will talk about a little bit later on, as we get into possibly there could have been some improvement in their
Yes.
style, the style selection. So,
Certainly, certainly, certainly. And listen, the boys at Camp MVP, they just wore athletic wear all the time and they were dumb. So, which we'll
oh,
talk about towards the end. So,
exactly. Yeah. So, yeah. Although, in a way, that sort of reinforces a stereotype too, that
yeah.
as you're
Yeah.
more athletic, you're less intelligent, which,
Yeah. Yeah. Which I think I was athletic and smart, so
well, I was going to say,
but
yeah. So,
yeah, yeah, yeah. But they, they're the villains. So,
right. Yeah.
they gotta be a little
so,
one-dimensional. But and they're
so,
obsessed with competition.
so,
But they
which
also
is,
were also mean though, so they deserved it.
well, exactly. So, and, of course, I'm sure that we'll see, some other selections later on Revenge of the Nerds about, stuff like,
That's on my list.
and mine. So,
Um,
where we see that sort of play out, so yeah,
yeah.
this is not a unique theme throughout this movie.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Oh, the jocks are all big dumb guys going, nerds.
and the nerds are all smart, intelligent guys, with no
Yeah.
athletic ability whatsoever.
Exactly.
So, yeah,
Exactly.
yes.
Before we move on, did you ever go to like summer camp when you were a
I
kid?
never did. No, to be honest with you, we just, yeah, it was just something we didn't do. So I don't know that I ever knew anybody that went to summer camp, at least,
Hmm.
when I was growing up. So,
Yeah. I don't
did
think I really
you?
did either. I went to day camp for a summer or two.
Now, what's
Um,
day camp? Is it, you just go and
you
then you
don't
come
sleep
home?
over. Yeah, you
Oh,
just go
okay.
for the day and they like do stuff with you. And I
So it was like
did.
something close by.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was like the county like recreation and parks department. So
Oh,
like we would
okay.
get picked up at like the middle school and
Oh,
then
okay. But
they
you
would
would be
take
there all
us.
day?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you do
Yeah.
fun things though? I mean, did you
Yeah,
have
yeah, yeah.
stuff?
We went like one day we went miniature golfing. They took us to like Sandy Point State Park, which is like you swim in the Chesapeake Bay.
Mm-hmm.
We went to maybe we went to like we would go do fun things. It was fun things all the time.
Well, that's cool. Now,
And sometimes we
not
would do stuff like at the park, like we played capture the flag one day and like that kind of stuff.
now, not to be nosy, like how old were you, or like what age were we talking about when you
Like
went? Just
11.
okay. So
And then, yeah, I would take like classes in the summer, like at the community college. I would do that too, but like fun ones too, like art class or like there was a period of time when I wanted to be a doctor. So when I was 12, I took like a class there where we got to do like medical stuff. And they took us to like Walter Reed, the museum.
really,
Hmm.
oh, okay. Well, that's cool.
The like medical museum there.
Yeah,
And we went to like a hospital. We got to like dissect things and learn how to triage and like all this
I knew
stuff.
you were going to say dissection. I knew you were going to.
Of course, that was the best part.
Yeah.
Um,
So did you get to
and
cut up a
then
frog?
no, we didn't do a frog. We did like a chicken
Or
wing. We did an
oh, okay.
some kind of an eye, something's eye, and then we did a sheep's heart,
Oh,
which was
that's
actually
cheap.
interesting because before you could like put water in like a valve and pump it, and then it would come
Yeah,
out another.
come out the other end. Yeah, so
Yeah,
you could see how the chambers functioned.
yeah. And then I went to soccer camp one summer. That was
Oh,
the only
okay.
time I ever went to sleepaway camp. I was 14, 15, and I went to soccer camp at the Naval Academy.
Oh, okay.
But it was
Okay.
also that's still like 20 minutes from my house. I didn't have to like fly somewhere.
Yeah. What? So,
Um,
and then like when you like, how long was camp? Like, was it all summer? The
no, it's
soccer
like a week.
camp?
These things were like a week.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Because I got the feeling they were there for like the whole
Yeah,
summer,
that was like
right?
the whole summer. I never did anything like that. No, if I
Okay.
did things in the summer, it was like a week. I went to Brown University for like a college visit, like class thing for a week. There were people that stayed there. for 7 weeks. So they stay there for most of the summer. But I was like, I'm not doing that. And I was
That's
glad I
almost like
didn't
a
because
mini semester, isn't it? Like
right,
a
I
yeah.
did not like it there. So I was glad that I only did the week. But yeah, so I never did anything like this. And I don't think any of my friends did either. I've
No,
met like
we
as
like
an adult people who have done it, but it's never, it just
oh,
wasn't
who had
something
done
I
it
ever
as a
did.
kid? Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Like I said, growing up around my area, no, I don't even know if there was a camp,
Yeah.
around us at any time,
You lived in
but
West Virginia. It's just, it's
yeah,
camp.
it is like camp. Yeah. So the only thing that we did was we would do vacation Bible school, where you
Mm.
would go to, you would get, but that even wasn't all day. It'd be
Hmm.
a few hours each day, and that was only for a week.
Hmm. Hmm.
But we
Yeah.
did. I did that when I was younger, but I don't even count. It was like stuff like you'd read the Bible, and then we made puppets or stuff like that for. But anyway,
Yeah.
good
So
question
this
though.
was like this and the other movies that I'll be bringing up in my subsequent picks are like my exposure to camp. Um, but
It's not the
well,
one with the slasher guy, is it?
no, these are all nice family friendly films.
Okay.
It is not,
Jason's
Jason is
not
not
in.
involved. No Jason.
Okay.
Just fun twins. Um,
Okay.
so anyways, Heavyweights was directed by Stephen Brill, who also directed Little Nicky,
Oh,
the Adam Sandler Mr. Deeds, Without a Paddle, Drill Bit Taylor, so some dumb comedy movies. Uh, he was one of the writers of the movie, and the other writer, which I literally just learned today, was Judd Apatow, which I guess does explain maybe the development of my sense of humor a little bit, because I'm a big fan of a lot of Judd Apatow's work. If you don't know Judd
rightfully so.
Apatow, yeah, if you somehow don't know who Judd Apatow is, welcome to the 21st century. He did The 40-Year-Old Virgin, Knocked Up, Funny People, This Is 40, Trainwreck, King of Staten Island. He's produced a ton of things in addition to those he directed. He created the show Freaks and Geeks, which was like a pretty cult classic show that was only on for one season. That also kind of launched the careers of a lot of the people that he ended up working with, like Seth Rogen and Jason Segel and Jay
Right.
Baruchel and James Franco and like all of those people. So that was like a pleasant surprise. I was like, wait, I haven't watched this movie in a really long time, so I like
Oh,
never
okay.
like since I have known who Judd Apatow is, like I never knew that he wrote it, but I was like, that
So
I
you
feel like
never knew that he wrote it until today. Oh, okay.
correct. Yeah, literally
Okay.
until today. So yeah, that was like a pleasant surprise. And I was like, maybe that explains like why I this like resonates with me so much and then I enjoy those movies so much because it is maybe in that same like sense of humor.
Did you have the light bulb moment when you saw it and you thought, oh, maybe that?
It all makes sense. Yeah.
Yes, it's all coming back to me now.
Yes, exactly. Alrighty. Shall we talk about the movie and we'll talk about the cast as we go through.
Yeah, I was,
So the movie starts. It's a school is letting out for summer, and the kids are pumped. They're like running out of classrooms. We meet our protagonist. His name is Jerry, Gerald Garner. He goes by Jerry, which is hilarious to me. I can't imagine like a kid being named Jerry. Like that doesn't feel like a kid's name to me. But
oh,
uh
really? You
no.
mean Jerry with a G like that, or it
Jerry at
is it?
all. Like no one when I was a kid was named Jerry.
I'm trying to think if I knew a Jerry. That's a good question. I don't
I
know.
think I knew people named Gerald, but they went by Gerald. No one
Yeah,
went by Jerry. Like Jerry to me is like an older person goes by Jerry.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
the person that comes to mind is like a sort of surrogate grandfather to me. Is named
Oh,
Jerry. Like
Jerry,
named Gerald goes by Jerry. Like he's a
gotcha.
grandfather. But anyways, so Jerry is played by the actor Aaron Schwartz. Not in a ton of things, but I think these are things, as Jim and I were discussing, these are things that like people my age will recognize. So he's also, like many other people in this movie, in The Mighty Ducks. He was also on the TV show The Adventures of Pete and Pete. And as an adult, he was on the show Gossip Girl, the original version with like Serena and Blair. He was the doorman, Vanya, who eventually married Blair's like maid Dorota. He looks very different. Google it. So, anyways, Jerry's kind of, I don't know, he's like not doing great. He misses his bus home on the last day of school. Also, he walks past these a guy, an at like a football player and a cheerleader making out, and I was like, this man's mullet.
The football players,
Yes.
yeah,
I
yeah.
literally didn't in my notes, I didn't even write football player. I wrote mullet and cheerleader making out. But Jerry saw him and his friend and misses his bus home. So he has to walk home, which seems like quite a journey. He walks by a baseball game and the ball goes over the fence and he can't throw it back over. Like he tries so many times and people are just like making fun of him. There's a dog that is for some reason very hostile towards him.
Yeah, the young lady walking the dog, and all of a sudden the dog lunges at him, and then like
Yeah.
and
I was like, why is this dog? It like even the dog doesn't like him. Jeez.
I know.
Um, then he stops by some kids at the lemonade stand and he gives them a couple dollars and takes the pitcher and chugs the whole pitcher. And then he gets home and his parents have this man named Roger Johnson in the living room with them. And he's like, "Huh, who is this?" Roger Johnson, just so you know, is played by the actor Tim Blake Nelson. You've definitely seen him in something. He was in Oh
Yeah, I was
Brother,
going to
Where
say
Art Thou?
he's very young. He's very young in this movie because that's what I
Yes.
remember him from. Is "Oh
Hmm.
Brother, Where Art Thou?" So,
Yeah, he
who
was.
I still think is the funniest one in that movie.
Yeah,
So,
I haven't seen it. But he's also in Minority Report.
oh
He's in the movie Holes. He's in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He's in like the Hulk movies, and he's also in the most recent Captain America movie. He was on the Watchmen TV show. He was in Scooby Doo, the Scooby Doo movie, the live action one, number two. He's in this Netflix movie called The Ballad of Buster Scruggs. So Tim Blake Nelson, he's been in a bunch of things. He's sort of like the salesman for this Camp Hope. And he's there to show them a videotape. In case you forgot it was the 90s, he has a videotape to show
yeah,
them.
love
Um,
that.
and I also say Jerry, I don't know who played his mom. I didn't recognize her, but his dad is played by Jeffrey Tambor, who's another very recognizable actor. I think Arrested Development, Transparent, he's in a ton of movies. Mr. Mom, There's Something About Mary. He was the mayor of Whoville in the Grinch movie that Jim Carrey's in.
Oh, that's right. I
So
forgot about that. Yeah.
yeah, he's Mayor Mayhew or whatever. But yeah, he's Jeffrey Tambor is another person I think you've probably seen or heard. He does some voice acting too. So in any case, they show him the video of Camp Hope. We see the owners, Alice and Harvey Bushkin. They are played by real life couple Jerry Stiller and Ann Mira. You might know them as parents of Ben Stiller. They were like a comedy duo for quite a long time, and they've both also had some separate credits. I think Jerry Stiller is well known as George Costanza's dad on Seinfeld. Think of like Festivus, Serenity Now. That's what I always think of. And
Festivus for the rest of us. So,
yes, and then he was also Doug Heffernan's father-in-law on King of Queens. Anne Mira has also been in a bunch of TV shows. She's been on multiple episodes of Law and Order SVU.
there you go.
And she's also been, like, if you're a fan of Sex and the City, she's Steve Brady's mom, so Miranda's mother-in-law on Sex and the City. Uh,
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're the owners of the camp and they're on this video and it basically looks like a very fun camp. Like the Blob, which like that made me want to go to camp. Like watching this movie and seeing the Blob, which like for people who haven't seen it, it's like a big sort of inflated thing at the bottom of like a diving platform and basically one kid would sit on like the edge of it and another kid would jump on it and then the kid sitting on the edge would go flying into the water.
It did look pretty cool, I got to
It
admit.
looked so fun. I was like, "Is this what you do at camp? Mom, send me to camp." Um,
I know I was sitting there because I was thinking, well, that's pretty wild,
right, right. And then there's like go-karts and stuff.
yeah.
We meet one of the camp counselors named Pat Finley, he's like sort of a chunky guy, and he's been going there since he was a kid. And then it becomes clear that it's a fat camp. And Jerry is like, because Jerry was into it at the beginning of the video. It was like that meme. You had me in the first half, not gonna lie. And then when it becomes clear that it's a fat camp, Jerry's like, no. What? I'm not going to this camp. You're not sending me to fat camp. No. And he says to his dad, "You're fatter than me. Why don't you go to fat camp?" And I was like, "Oh my God." And then Jerry's like, "I am not going." Puts his foot down. Cut to him on a plane going to camp.
Yep,
Just like
exactly.
direct play. It's like he says that, and then the next shot is a plane. And he's like, it also just seems like an unpleasant plane ride. There's a big adult man sitting next to him, just leaning on him. The flight attendant gives him a pin, even though he's like maybe a little bit old to get a pin. He's 11, so it's like
Yeah.
borderline. It's a little bit embarrassing. And then we meet someone else who's going to camp. Another young man named Roy. Roy is a very familiar face.
Yeah,
Roy,
even then.
even then, a cute little chubby cherubic face of Kenan Thompson. Kenan Thompson, I think everyone should know who he is, but like he started on like Nickelodeon. He was on all that. He had So Kenan and Kel. He's been on Saturday Night Live. He's now like the longest running cast member on Saturday Night Live because he's been on for so many seasons. But he was in Good Burger, like the Good Burger movies.
Oh, yeah.
He was also in the Mighty Ducks.
I was just
And he was in the film adaptation of Fat Albert. He was titular. He was Fat Albert.
he was Fat Albert.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there was a movie, I think when I was in high school, like in the 2000s, of Fat Albert, and he played Fat Albert. So he was in
Okay.
Hey Hey Hey. Uh,
I was just looking, he was born in 78. So when this movie came out, he would have been what, 16, 17 years old.
he
He
does
looks young.
not look like it. Yeah,
No,
he
he looks
looks
like
like
he's
a little
12 or
baby.
13.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So,
But I think it becomes clear if you haven't seen this movie, Keenan is like again, he's a child in this movie, even if he's a teenager, like one of the funniest people in this movie.
yeah,
Like
he really is. Yeah.
even as a child. So he comes up to Jerry and he's like, "You going to fat camp?" And Jerry's like, "Why would you ask me that?" And he's like, "Because you're fat." And then he's like, "Is that your dad?" To the guy falling asleep on him.
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, why would you ask me that?" And he's like, "Because he's fat." And then
He's
Jerry's
really
like,
fat.
"Okay, I actually am going to fat camp." And he was like, "Okay." And that is your dad, right? No, it's actually not my dad. Um, but Roy reassures him because he's been to camp before. He's like, "Camp is so fun. Just like stick with me. It's all
Yep.
good." And then all the kids kind of gather. It didn't look like they were at the airport. It looked like they were at like an abandoned service station.
I know.
So
I
I'm
was
like,
like,
how did they get here?
I was wondering, like, wait a minute, where's he picking him up at? It's
At like
like,
a
did
rest
they?
stop. Like, how did they get there from the airport? But in any
And
case, the Camp Hope bus rolls up and it's driven by Pat. So Pat Finley is played by Tom McGowan. He has been on a ton of television, but I think one of his like longer roles was he was on Frasier. He like is the guy who works at like the station on
station,
Frasier.
yeah, yeah.
He's has small parts in a lot of movies too. He's in Sleepless in Seattle, The Birdcage, As Good as It Gets. He also has done a lot of Broadway work. Like if you look him up on Wikipedia, the primary information on there is
I
his
saw
Broadway
that, yeah,
work.
yeah. And he was nominated for a Tony in his
Yeah,
first role.
which is so funny to me because I only know him from this, so I'm like, I can't imagine like this translating to Broadway, but like, good for him.
Well, it also said that in 2011, he stepped into the role of the wizard in
He was in Wicked, yeah,
Wicked, yeah. So, which is, hey, you took over from Joel Gray, that's saying
right.
something.
Like
So,
that's a big role. There's some
exactly,
big shoes
yeah.
to fill. So obviously talented. So, anyways, they he's funny. He rolls up and he opens the door and he says, "Excuse me, I'm looking for several portly adolescents." And they're all like very excited to see him. And
Yeah. The regulars are, yeah. And,
yes,
and you
yes.
can tell he's like, he seems to be excited about it. It's not
Hmm.
like, because at first I thought his character was going to be, all right, let's get on the bus, but he's like, he comes across as like, maybe the cool guy, that,
Yeah. I mean, I feel like you have to be excited about it. If you're a camp you started going to when you were like 10, you're still there working. I guess you're either really excited or you absolutely hate it. There's like not probably not a middle. You can't be neutral on it if you're gonna stick around that long.
Exactly. So
But he's driving them. First of all, I was like, how long? This looks like a long drive.
I
Where
know
is this
it's
camp?
it must be out in the middle of nowhere. So
Yeah,
we
because
really don't get an idea of
Jerry's
where
from
it
Long
is.
Island and he had to fly.
Yeah,
So it's like, and then they have to over the river and through the woods on this bus to get to the camp. I did like
exactly.
when he pretends that he's going to take him to Taco Bell on the way. What also it was like, wow, throwback. Look at the Taco Bell sign when it was still a bell and it was like red and yellow and green.
you're you're talking to me. You're talking to me. That was I remember when the first Taco Bell opened up in Huntington, West Virginia,
Oh
and
my
we thought that
goodness.
was really what Mexican food tasted like. That was in 1976. I still
Yeah,
remember that to this
that's
day.
amazing.
Yes, it
Um,
is.
so they finally pull up to Camp Hope. This part, I was like, what is this like foreshadowing? But the one kid, Sims, is standing by the gate with like a stick, just looking like very sad. I was like, is this like a sign of things to come? Because there was not really an explanation for that. But it makes it look like it's bad. Like the camp is
Yeah,
bad.
like it's awful. It's the worst
Right.
thing in the
It's
world
like
to
you're
be
about to be
there.
to like abandon hope, all ye who enter here. And then they get off. We meet some of the other staff at the camp. We meet Tim, another counselor, and he's really skinny. So they all are immediately making fun of him. Like they're like, "Oh, Tim, did you give birth?"
Yeah.
Like, which is funny. I liked that. Like because I feel like they're like the fat kids. They always get made fun of, and I think that's actually something that Keenan's character says to Jerry on the plane. Like he's like, we're used to being made fun of because like you're the fat kid, but like at camp we're all fat kids. So like no, it's
Yeah.
no one's like feeling bad.
Yeah.
Um, so it made me laugh that they're making fun of the skinny counselor, like, oh, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Did you give birth? Did you have a
Yeah.
baby?
So Tim is played by Paul Feig, who I actually know more, and I think maybe some people know more as like a director and writer. So like he directed Bridesmaids, The Heat, Spy. He works a lot with Melissa McCarthy. The Ghostbusters with all the women, he did that. He did A Simple Favor. And the sequel Last Christmas. He also with Judd Apatow created Freaks and Geeks, and I think he did some. He was on Sabrina the Teenage Witch, like as an actor for a bit,
Oh,
as a teacher,
okay.
I think. But yeah, Paul Feig. I think I know him more now for like the things he's directed and like produced
Okay.
more so than acting. But he's fun and silly in this movie, especially later at the dance.
Yeah.
We also meet the new nurse, Julie, who's played by a lady named Leah Lale, who really wasn't in much of anything else. She, I think, was dating the director because they eventually got married. She was, I guess, she had some part in Little Nicky. I'm not sure how big of a part. She was in something called Denial and a television show called VIP, which I have not heard of, I don't think.
I don't know that one either.
But
So
anyways, I mostly just know her from this, but she's pretty and like Pat is obviously like infatuated. Like she's like, "Can you tell me where the infirmary is?" And he's like, no." And Roy is like, "Pat, what is wrong with you?" Like you've been going here since you were a child. You obviously know where the infirmary is. He's like, "I froze up, man."
yeah.
Um
Yeah, you could tell he really got pretty tongue tied and he had the deer in the headlight look,
yes.
when he was
Yes.
approached by her.
Then we go to the cabin. Jerry is going to be with Roy in the chipmunk cabin. And we meet a guy who's kind of, he seems like he's sort of like the like head guy in charge at camp. His name is Josh Birnbaum. He's played by the actor Sean Weiss. Again, he's another person that was in Mighty Ducks. He was in all of them, Mighty Ducks and the sequels D2 and D3. He did a lot of TV appearances around this time. He was on shows like Boy Meets World, King of Queens, Freaks and Geeks. So I think you can see that there's sort of a small world with some of these folks. But Josh is very funny. Like someone says something to him and he's like, "This pleases me."
He also seems like he's like 10 years older than the rest of them to me,
Right. But he's yeah. He's like the godfather is like how he acts. Like
Yeah,
he's like
yeah.
the don of the camp
Yeah,
is
yeah.
his main vibe there. He gives Jerry his nickname, which is Captain, because he still has the wings on. And they all start saluting him, and he's like, "Are you gonna call me that all summer?" And they're like, "Yeah."
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, yeah. Yes, my captain.
Yes. And then Jerry says he like whispers to Josh that he snuck in Oreos, and Josh is like, "Oh, that's cute." And then he's like, "Chipmunks, let's go." And they all start producing candy and food, including there's a boy who has salamis taped to his abdomen. His name's Sam. They call him Salami Sam. And they have like hiding places in the posts of their beds, like under a trunk. There's like a hole in the floor, like just everywhere. Like they lift up a mattress, like there's stuff everywhere. It's like I don't know. It's like the cocaine in Goodfellas. Like
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
hidden
Yeah,
everywhere. That to me is like one of the images that sticks with me of this movie. And I always thought like for example, in college, I had this little ottoman that like opened up as a storage ottoman and that's where I kept all my snacks. And I always felt like I was in heavyweights because I was like, "Oh, I'm hiding all my snacks and candy in this thing." Like if only the post of my bed like was
yeah.
hollow, I could put some Twizzlers in there or something.
Right. Yeah. And yeah, I like how they, they just dump stuff in, and like you said, like everybody, like I guess it was like a communal,
Hmm.
pot, of
Yeah.
junk food.
Yeah.
So
Josh is like, "Chipmunks, download."
yeah. And then
Uh,
the one kid whose candy all melted.
oh yeah, the chocolate all melted.
But then doesn't Josh lick it? It
Yeah, someone does.
licks his belly or whatever, and he goes, "This is so unsanitary," and he still does it. It's like,
Yeah.
really? Phew.
Oh my God. We can see him having a little fun. They play on the blob while
Yeah,
Blue Danube like waltz plays. It seems so fun. Like that was one of the things I was like, is this what people do at camp?
I
Why
know.
why am I not at camp? And then the campers gather for, I guess this is a normal thing at the beginning of camp. The Bushkins talk to them and they're very excited because, like, for the regulars, usually this means something cool is coming. Like, they added the blob one year and, like, the go karts and, like, they keep adding stuff. So it's like, oh, what, like, fun thing are they going to give us this year?
Yeah.
Oh, and they have this little greeting. They go, hi, hi, hiya. And then the Bushkins say that they're no longer the owners. And everybody is like, what? Even the staff are like,
Yeah,
what?
nobody knew evidently.
And it seems like they had to file for bankruptcy. And poor Mr. Bushgood is like, don't let anybody sign your checks.
He plays the same character, throughout his
Yes.
career, like the angry, loud man, and
Yeah.
it's like,
Mm-hmm. And they're like, can we get one more hi, hi, hiya? And they're like, hi, hi, hiya. It's so sad.
yeah, it's like real Debbie Downer, just sort of, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Then it's time to meet the new owner. And we get like there's like a siren sounds like woo, 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 and then there's music and there's like a searchlight like
Yeah.
beaming all around and then we hear this like a sort of German accented voice like welcome to your new owner Tony Perkis and out comes Tony Perkis and like the it's important that you understand how his hair looks. So, first of all, Tony Perkis is played by Ben Stiller. So, picture Ben Stiller. And this is young Ben Stiller because it's 1995. He has this long black hair that's just like out, just
Yep.
like sticking out is the best way. It's like sort of cut. It's not like a mullet. It's sort of more of like a shag kind of thing,
Shag. Yeah,
but
it's like a
like,
shag, yeah, but
but
it
very voluminous. It's out. It's not laying flat. It's out.
I think there's some product going on
There
here.
is
I'm just
definitely some product going on there. He's also got like a blue double-breasted blazer on with like white pants and a white button up. And it's very like motivational speaker energy. Like, hey guys, we're here to make things happen. Like he goes, "Do you smell that?" And so, I think you hear a kid very quietly go, "What? No." And that part made me laugh a lot. Because it was just like it wasn't even loud, it was just something, what? No.
no.
But he's like, that's a smell of success, or like whatever.
Yeah.
So it's very like think of all the like motivated, like Tony Robbins, like that kind of like
I mean,
energy.
that's what the vibe I was getting. That it was just a
Yes.
direct takeoff on that. It was like
Yes.
oh, we're gonna, you gotta go out and grab what you want, and
Mm-hmm.
if you dream it, you will be it. And
Yes. He's talking to the kids. This part is funny about what they could be when they grow up. And he's like, you could be whatever. And then he goes, you could be a rap artist. And he's pointing at Roy, aka Kenan, like the only black kid there. And he's kind of like, Then they point to the one British kid and say, you could be president of the United States. And Jerry's like, he's not even from America.
yeah, he's
Uh,
from England.
then he's like, then he's talking about how he's never interacted with children, even as a child, because he was homeschooled with private tutors. And so he's like, I'm looking forward to interacting with children for the first time in my life. And he's like, if you're from Western Pennsylvania, you know my father, who's the light fixture king of Western Pennsylvania. And he donated all, and then like a big chandelier like lowers into frame.
Yeah, comes down.
Uh, he introduces new staff there, Team Purkis, and it's a bunch of very fit people. And then the cameraman Kenny, because he's also making an infomercial, which I think is also very common in the 90s, right? If you're a 90s kid and you like stayed up late ever, there was always a period of time when like the regular shows stopped and it's just 30-minute infomercials,
Right. So
many of
Ron
which were for exercise equipment or diets.
or Ron Popeil's Pocket Fisherman.
Yes, or like knives.
Oh yeah, the Ginsu knives. You remember
Yes.
where you could cut through a tin can and then slice a
Yes.
tomato and then dissect a bullfrog.
Yes, exactly. Briefly before we move on, Ben Stiller, I think, is another person that like I think people just know. From
Hopefully.
something, from something.
Come on, people.
He's just to name a few things. He's been in Zoolander, Meet the Parents. He's a voice of the lion in Madagascar. He was in the Night at the Museum movies, Tropic Thunder. There's something about Mary, Dodgeball, in which he plays basically the same character.
This
White Goodman and Tony Perkis are like they're this basically the
cousins.
same person. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like
Exactly.
they're
Yeah.
related.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh-huh.
Along Came Polly, Starsky and Hutch, Mystery Men, The Royal Tenenbaums. Of late, he's done more directing. Like he did the Showtime series Escape at Dannemora, and now he does Severance, which is like a big popular show.
Oh, okay. I didn't know he did that. I didn't know he
Yeah.
was doing that. Oh,
hmm
okay.
He created
So,
it, and he like I guess writes and directs it. So,
well, that's
um,
cool.
yes. Also, the cameraman Kenny. He it's a small role, but it's someone that at least I recognize. And I think if you're an Adam Sandler movie person, you recognize him because he's one of those guys that Adam Sandler puts in all of his movies. His name is Alan Covert. So he's in Happy Gilmore, he's in Wedding Singer. He's the one who's like the best friend in Wedding Singer. He's in Big Daddy, he's in The Water Boy, he's in Never Been Kissed, he's in Little Nicky. So like he's in a bunch of those.
Okay.
Basically every like I stopped looking at them, but I think he's in like every Adam Sandler like movie. Like he's in You Don't Mess with the Zohan, like all that kind of stuff too.
So he's one of the entourage of
Yes. hmm
gotcha.
Yeah, yeah. He wrote Eight Crazy Nights with him. And I think he might be like one of the extra voices in that movie.
There
So,
you
but yeah,
go.
he's one of Adam Sandler's boys. But yeah, that's where if you recognize the cameraman, that's where you probably recognize him from.
There you go.
But anyways, Tony is kind of he's trying to motivate them. He's like, when I was 12, I was over 300 pounds and like, look at me now. And then he's trying to like run out down the aisle and like high five everyone, but no one like one person at the very end high fives him, but he's running with his hands up for high fives and is just left hanging. And then we see like he's immediately starting to make changes. So like Pat, the counselor, was always staying at the chipmunk bunk. Like that's just how it's always been. And now one of Tony's guys, Lars, who is like a big buff like German or
Dude,
maybe like Scandinavian. I don't know what he's
I'm
supposed to be.
thinking German, but
Yeah.
Lars could be, Swedish or something. But
Yeah,
yeah,
he's definitely from like Northern or Eastern Europe. I will say he's played by the actor Tom Hodges. He was on a television show called The Hogan Family. He had a very small part in Steel Magnolias. Shout out to him. He plays Dolly Parton's son in that movie, who we see for like half a second. And he's also in Revenge of the Nerds too. But
Okay.
anyways, Lars kind of throws out Pat, and then he goes in and he makes Jerry tell him everyone's name. And then he's like, "My name is Lars," and they all laugh. They're like, "Lars," and then he tells them, "You have to go to sleep." And he says he has a really bad deviated septum, so he makes very disturbing noises when he sleeps. And then we hear he just horrible
it
snoring.
it's like a freight train coming through.
Yes, snoring like a daggone bear. And then the next morning, Tony wakes him up bright and early because it's evaluation day. The operative word being value.
Value. By the way, if y'all haven't seen the movie, watch the movie, and then unfortunately you can't see Lindsay doing her reiteration of. But yeah, Lindsay does a pretty good Ben Stiller stuff.
Yes, the voice that he talks in this movie is I don't like at times I'm like, is this is like a vaguely British accent? At times it's very like Southern California sounding. Even though I think like Ben Stiller grew up in like New York.
Yeah, yeah,
So like what is this? And presumably Tony Perkins is from Western Pennsylvania. So he
yeah.
should be like, hey yins,
It's
we're
not.
we're gonna get in shape. But yeah, it's when we get to some of his lines, I do my best to do the voice, but it's an interesting voice. But he's trying to pump them up. The camera's rolling, and he's like, "Camp's gonna be full of skinny winners." And Roy's like, "Did he say skinny wieners?" And we see him making announcements. He has just like his windowsill is lined with supplements,
Yeah.
just tons of bottles of supplements, which is like that is very fitness influencer
Right.
of today. And then they're doing this workout, this like gliding workout. So they're on this like white like rectangle that's like slippery, but with these like sort of like sock booty things on, and like these little like overalls that look like they're made of terry cloth. And they're supposed to be he's gliding back and forth. The children are just slipping and sliding and falling all over the place.
Yeah, you can see it's Tony and Lars, and then whoever the other person is, and they're all just going back and forth. It's
It
almost
looks
like
like it looks like they're speed skating kind of.
speed skating. I was just going to say, it looks like if you ever watch speed skaters train, I think they do
Mm-hmm.
something like this.
Yes, it's like the sort of strides that they do,
Yeah,
like side to
uh-huh.
side. I'm like
But
I'm doing it like anyone can see me besides
yeah,
Jim,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, but the poor kids are just falling down. They're they slide one side and they just keep going.
And you
Or
can
they.
see that he is like he's getting to the verge. Like
Oh yeah, it's starting to.
he's like just balance. Like you can do it. Come on.
It's
Also just as a fun detail, they're playing Le Freak by Chic.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about the song choice.
So
Yeah,
it's like
so
children are like slipping and sliding and fall, and you're just hearing freak out. Le Freak, stay chic. No,
yeah, the soundtrack's not bad actually.
it's
So
pretty good.
yeah, so
And he's pumping them up because at the end of the summer they participate in something called the Apache Relay, where they compete against another camp, which is a different boys camp called Camp MVP. So they're kind of the jocks, and it seems like every year they Camp Hope loses, but Tony Perkis is like, "We're gonna win this year."
hmm
And then it's time for all the boys to be weighed in and given a weight loss goal. And they have like the old timey scale where you got to slide the
the
things.
little I was gonna say my doctor's office still has that.
Oh gosh,
Yeah, so I said to him
it's
one time, I said the Smithsonian called, they want this back.
I know. Oh my goodness, I haven't seen one of those in so long. The Sims, who is the tall, sad-looking boy who like doesn't really talk much. He they say he's the fattest. Tony says, "Congratulations, you're the fattest boy at camp." First of all the other boys cheer. They're like, "Woohoo!
Yeah,
Congratulations!"
yeah. He
He's
goes,
like,
that's
"It's
not
not
a
a good
good
thing."
thing.
Yes. Also, to be fair though, he is the tallest. Like he's
Yeah,
just larger, like he's proportional.
yeah,
Like he should not weigh the same as people who were 6 inches shorter than him. Like
right.
Nicholas is very short. Him and Sims should not. The little British boy they shouldn't weigh the same. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
so like maybe we need a little bit of, we need to consider people more holistically. Anyways, and then they're doing the whole thing. Like they're doing body fat. They're measuring like the circumference of their neck. They got the calipers like
Yeah,
squeezing their
the
arms.
BMI, the
Mm-hmm.
mass
They're
body
taking
mass index.
yeah, they're taking before and after pictures, which with an astoundingly old-timey camera, first of all.
I
They
know it
had
was
regular,
like
it was 1995. You had regular film cameras then.
I know it was like one of those old like the with the flash bulbs or whatever it
Yes.
was. You know, it's
I'm
like
surprised Lars wasn't like under a black
the
sheet. Yeah.
yeah yeah with the and took the cover off the lens cap. You
Yes.
know, to do the
And
exposure.
daguerreotypes over there.
Yeah, exactly.
But and some of them are like not taking it seriously. Like Josh puts his finger in his nose. Roy turns around and like just holds the little before sign up against his butt.
but
Um and then we get sort of some kind of flashes of what things look like. Like Tony is being filmed all the time for his infomercial that
I
he
know
makes an announcement.
the cameraman's everywhere. It's like right up in his
Yes.
face.
Yeah.
So
He's like, today's lecture, campers, is liposuction, option or obsession. It's, you know what? I wonder if this voice is like a predecessor. It evolved to the Zoolander voice,
yep, think you got something there. I think
right?
you're right. Come to think of it, yeah, because it
Hmm.
is sort of like that's got that vibe to it. You're right.
Yeah. Like he talks like this all the time. That sounded like Donald Trump, but I don't want to skip
No,
ahead to
not
my
really.
favorite. I can't skip ahead to my favorite line.
Okay,
But
all
we'll
right.
get there.
So we'll get there.
Then there's this is another line though that I do always think of. Lars has the boys swimming in the pool. He's for in the water. First of all, he's
Oh,
like kicking them into it. Like some of the boys are trying to sit on the dock
or
and
just
he kicks,
he,
pushes and kicks them into
I
the
know
water.
he's just like walking by and he just like just
Hmm.
and just he just yeah just shoves him off it off
Yeah,
the
one kid he just looks at and the kid just like jumps in. But then the nurse Julie is there and he's trying to hit on her and she's like, "Shouldn't you be watching the
watching.
children?"
Uh
He's like, "Oh no, it's okay. I have them on the body system." And she's like, "The body system?"
huh.
And he blows his whistle and goes, "Body!" And then the kids all lift they're holding hands with each other. So they lift their hands up and
Right.
they go, "Body!" And he's like, "Body!" And then she's like, "Oh, the buddy system."
Buddies.
I always think I just whenever someone says buddy system, I just go body.
Body.
Uh, I also love Josh is not in the water and he just lifts his one hand up.
I know. Yeah.
He's just sunning himself and he just lifts one hand up when it's body. Then Tony has the boys from Camp MVP come play baseball against the Camp Hope boys, and it's
Right.
clearly to like just make them feel crappy because Pat even says to Tony like, "Are you sure? Like maybe we shouldn't do this because like," or I think Tim says to him like, "They're like not very good," and Pat says to the coach of the MVP boys like, "Are like maybe you guys like take it easy on us because you know like we're not that good," and he's like,
Yeah.
"What do you mean by that?"
Yeah. No. I don't
He's like,
no. We're not gonna do that.
No. No,
Yeah.
he's like, our boys are trained to perform at the highest level at every time. I will say that guy, the coach of the Camp MVP boys, his name's Chris in the movie. The actor's name is David Bowe. He's in a bunch of stuff too. Like he was in A Few Good Men. He's
Oh,
in the
okay.
movie Kicking and Screaming with Will Ferrell. He's in The Rock, which is like the 90s
Oh,
movie. Is that the one with Sean Connery and like Alcatraz?
yep. Yep. And
Um,
yeah.
so
Good
he's in that
movie.
movie too. So he's just in a few things. But yeah, basically they get whooped at baseball.
Oh yeah.
And it's it's very slapstick. Like there's a point where the big kid Sims hits a very far foul ball and it like bangs off a bunch of things and then it hits a boy in the head and he goes like don't like Homer Simpson. Um, I
Well, it's
also love.
Josh, isn't it, that hits the home run? Hits the just crushes it. Is
Oh
it
yeah,
Josh?
I think so. But there's also like Jerry sucks at baseball and he gets hit by a pitch and like takes his base and the catcher from Camp MVP is just like insulting him. And I love Roy just like socks him in the gut with the end of the bat
Yeah.
without even looking at him.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, baby, take your base. Go ahead and
Yeah.
just what are you waiting on?
Yeah, why don't you go cry about it? Blah, blah, blah. And Roy's just like, doesn't even look
Yeah.
at him, just like, And then Tim high fives him. And then things deteriorate.
Oh, it goes bad.
Yeah. So Tony shows up to the chipmunk bunk and he's slicing open beds with knives. He's looking to find the candy hiding places. And he finds some of the stuff like it's like under the beds and like just in the
Yeah,
bedposts and stuff. Because he's like, you can't participate in the Perka system if you have temptation. And then, but he's like, oh, I'm on your side. I'm not a bad guy. Like, give Uncle Tony a hug to Roy. He's like,
yeah.
come on, give Uncle Tony a hug. He refers to himself in third person all the time. And then Roy gives him a hug, and then he's like, ha, and grabs at his ankle, and he finds his Pez dispenser, which, like, do people today know, like, what Pez are?
I
I
don't
don't know if they
know.
do. I feel like I haven't seen them in a while, but
Gosh, I
Pez,
hope they do. Um,
if you don't know what Pez is, which you should, they're just like little
Sugar
candies of
cubes.
they're just like sugar cube candies. They're kind of like Smarties, but they're like rectangular and they would come in a dispenser and you could buy all sorts of different dispensers like
Oh
different
my God.
characters and
Or
like any
movies or yeah.
yes, like any like character or movie that you could think of, you could get a Pez dispenser and basically you load them in there and then you lift the head up of the thing and one will like pop out for you to
Pop
eat.
out. Yeah. Oh
So
yeah. I mean, there was like, oh, you could get all at DC, Marvel.
yeah, I think I had like I had a Goofy one, like a Pluto one, maybe.
Yeah, I was gonna say Disney. I mean,
Yeah.
anything,
And like
anything
I
you could
maybe I had
get.
like a Looney Tunes one, like one
Hmm.
of the Looney Tunes characters. I definitely had more than one, but they were good for like a Christmas stocking kind of thing too.
Yeah.
I think I had a
So
Santa one at one point. But anyways, um Roy has one like in his sock at his ankle and Tony finds it and takes it
yeah.
and dumps all the Pez out.
Oh no,
Um
so mean.
And then one of the staff that used to be a chipmunk that's now on Team Purkis is like, oh, I know where the big stash is. And he moves the trunk and there's the big well in the floor. And I also did write Lars is in what appears to be like leather shorts with like a belt. And I was like, I wrote in my notes, Lars in these lederhosen shorts.
I thought it looked a little S&M, but I don't know. I'm just
It
saying.
does. I could see, you know what? I could see that being very like Germany, like you're from Berlin in the 90s. Like it's very like alternative. Like you go to like
Hmm.
weird electronic clubs, you know?
Oh yeah.
That's the vibe. Uh but anyways, Tony wants Jerry to like narc on whoever brought in the candy. And
Right.
Josh is like, I'll tell you. I'll tell you. And he's very quietly like, it was Seymour Butts. And he's like, what? He's like, it was Seymour Butts. And Tony is like, who is Seymour Butts? Who is Seymour Butts? And Josh is like, nobody's seen more butts than you, Uncle Tony. And they're all like, ha ha. And Tony is obviously embarrassed by this to be bested by children. And he kind of was like, kind of threatens Josh. And then the next morning, Josh is gone.
His stuff is like all piled up in
Yeah,
a
like
stack.
the comforter and pillows and stuff. Like the
Yeah,
bed is stripped.
yeah. And then they all talk about like, oh,
Her rumors.
it's like one story gets better than another.
Yes. They're like he's like living in Central Park with a guy with no legs.
No
And
legs.
the cook in the kitchen is like, he's dead. I'm sorry to tell you guys, he's dead. Just the way that he delivered that.
And who's the cook?
It's Peter Berg is the cook. He's not, I don't think he's credited, but it's like
He's not, but you and I was going to say, because I was going to ask you, because you know who the cook was,
yes,
who
I have it in my
everyone knows,
notes.
now knows is, he's a big director these days.
Yes, I always know him, and we'll get to this movie eventually. It's not a good movie, but he's one of the brothers in Corky Romano. Yeah, so Peter Berg, he's a
Yes.
person that you might recognize too. This is like his only scene. It's very brief.
Yeah, but he's like so matter of fact. Oh yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, but he says it. Yeah, he says it so like Oh yeah, he's probably dead.
Yeah,
Um,
he's dead.
it's a hilarious scene though because it's just like sort of a game of telephone and it just keeps one upping. And then Jerry's writing a letter to his grandma because his dad like won't listen to his pleas. Like he's like, I didn't send you there for like go-karts and to play around.
Right.
But he this is how Gary starts his letter. Somebody once said war is hell, but they had never been to fat camp.
poor poor
And it
Jerry. He just it's just it just gets worse and worse.
right.
So
You know, when you're 11, but they pop the blob like with friggin'
it looks like a harpoon,
a
doesn't
harpoon. That's the word I was
it?
looking for. Yeah,
Doesn't it? It's like they're killing a whale,
right. It's
but
like
it's just,
it's Moby Dick. Like
yeah.
it's bad. The go-karts are gone. The food is
Oh,
bad.
oh, they strip the go-karts, like they tear them all apart, like take the motors off and stuff, and then they just sort of leave them laying around, like to rust. It's it's not a good scene, man.
No,
As my hippie in my hippie days, I would say.
for sure. Oh, and then here's the line. Here's the my favorite line.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
Tony Perkis gets on the intercom and says, "Lunch has been canceled today due to lack of hustle. Deal with it."
I forgot
That's the line that I remember from this movie. Lunch has
from the
been
movie.
canceled due to lack of hustle.
Lack of us.
Deal with
Um,
it. And he is getting increasingly crazy. Like he's like, one day you'll be able to do this. And this is him laying on his back on a bed of nails with a giant ice block on his stomach that Lars is like busting with a sledgehammer. Um, and then, you know, the kids from Camp MVP are like taunting them whenever they go by. They're sneaking over at night to vandalize their camp. It's the kids are so hungry, they're chasing cows to try to like with like tennis rackets to try to like I guess slaughter them for meat.
I
Like,
guess to get a burger or something. It's yeah, that's just,
yeah.
yeah. Some of the visuals are very very funny and very maybe well it's a kids movie. I'm sorry, but it is. It's more for younger people, not
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
it is. Yeah, I can see where it would be laugh out loud funny for that because it was cute. So
Yeah. Yeah. So then the next thing is Tony sets up a dance with a girls' camp, not for fun, but to try to humiliate the boys and like kind of shame them into losing weight. Uh, and it's, you know, it's a typical middle school dance. The boys are all on one side
the
and the girls are all on the other side.
I got to admit this reminds me of my high school days and stuff. And I was shy and stuff. And like I said, I was overweight. Some of this was, I won't say it was painful, but it was a little, it was a little uncomfortable, to relive those days when one, you're at that age where you really don't even know how to talk to somebody else, much less if you feel like you're not physically attractive or anything,
Hmm.
that you're, because if you're at that age, you although Roy, has game, so
Hmm.
he's
He's got his
he's a
little hat on.
yeah, he's styling and stuff. And oh my God, Jerry, Jerry from the waist up is fine, but then he's got a pair of like Bermuda shorts on and then tennis shoes. I think tennis shoes with high top socks or whatever, and it's just
Yeah.
but yeah, so but it was yeah, it was so that just brings you back. You're right. It's exactly what it was like.
Hmm.
All the girls would be on one side of the gymnasium or whatever, and all the guys would be on the other side and waiting for
Hmm.
someone to make that first move.
Yeah. Yeah. And I get to the point that we were making earlier about this movie being kind of edgy. The girls are like fighting amongst themselves, and one of them's like, "Why don't they just lose weight?" And the other girl's like, "Yeah, why don't you teach them how to throw up after meals like you do?" And I was like, "Oh my God."
I know it was a little, it was a little like harsh, in some of this stuff. So, it was like you know how the but I don't know, is that the way, do girls talk to each other like that? Sometimes it's like, it's
I think so.
a
Probably
little
sometimes.
snarky,
Yeah.
little so
Yeah. And we get the counselors are there. I think Pat is wearing like the same outfit as Jerry. Like I think he's also doing a shirt and tie and blazer with shorts.
shorts, yeah. So
And but he and the nurse Julie are getting closer and they both actually are like concerned. They don't like what Tony's doing and she's trying to figure out like how to report him. We got Lars is with the DJ, just having the time of his life behind the DJ booth, just like pelvic thrusting behind the DJ booth.
and his outfit, he's got like the high waisted jeans, like and he's got the shirt tucked in, and and the belt and stuff. He just,
Mhm.
I don't know. There's just
Doesn't he have
something
like he has like a turtleneck on
like
underneath like a button up?
like a dickie. What we used
Yeah.
to call a dickie. Yeah, with the
Hmm.
with the with the button down shirt. Yeah, so he's got. It's just because even Pat says something about Lars's outfit.
Hmm.
To check out Lars's clothes or whatever. So. Uh, I also got. Is it just me, or I think the nurse, and I can't remember the nurse's name. I'm sorry.
Julie.
Julie seems to be, wanting to start a relationship with Pat, but Pat's
Hmm.
like, really. I don't think he really reads this room very well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he's
He's so awkward. Like he has turned back into 11. Like when they're standing there and he's like, "Oh, would you like some punch?" And he like
yeah.
gives her some punch. And meanwhile Tim's like, "They put sugar-free punch in here. Oh, this place sucks."
Everything sucks, and he's
Yeah.
just walking around and goes, "This sucks,"
Yeah. And we have a moment where it seems like a girl has like crossed no man's land, right? And she's like bathed in this like angelic light, and they're like, "Oh my God, she's coming to talk to me. She's coming," and then she just goes, "Can you tell me where the bathroom is?"
And I like how they all turn in unison and they just point
Just
down the
watch,
thing.
yeah, watch her
It's
walk
all,
away.
and I will say there's a look. It's a mixture of relief and sadness. It's like
Yes.
I thought she was coming to talk to me. Thank God she didn't come to talk to me. It's
Mm-hmm.
like because I wouldn't have known what to do. But yeah, the one kid, was it the English kid, like sprays the breath spray. I think she's coming to
Mm-hmm.
talk to, I think she's looking at me. It's like,
Yeah.
and
And then my favorite is the one kid. I don't know that we know his name, but he's like the kid with like red spiky hair. And he's wearing a Les Miserables t-shirt and a beret, like a Les Miserables t-shirt tucked in
tucked
and a
in.
beret. And it always made me laugh because my mom had like a Les Miserables t-shirt like that
Oh,
she would always
okay.
like sleep in. And I was like, he's wearing like my mom's shirt and a beret. And finally, Tim has had enough of this. Counselor Tim is like, this is too much. So he goes to the center of the dance floor and just starts dancing
What's the
crazy.
song? It's what
It's,
I
oh,
forget.
I looked it up. Hold on.
Love Machine.
Love Machine, yes.
Just a love machine, and
Machine. And
he
it won't
goes
work for
nuts.
nobody but you. Yeah. Pat is like, what are you doing? Like, this is crazy. But eventually he joins him, and then the nurse Julie joins them. And then they get the boys to come. And then finally the girls are like, well, like we might as well. And
It's
then
just dancing,
right,
it's
it's just
just
dancing. And then some of
yeah,
the individual boys like Jerry asks the girl that was going to the bathroom, like he's like, hey, do you want to dance with me? And like some of the boys are asking girls to dance with them, and they're like, yeah, okay.
yeah.
And it's fun and everyone's having fun. Like the little boy in the Les Mis shirt is like disco dancing and voguing. And then Tony shows up, pulls the plug, lights
Yep.
on, music off.
Go
And it's
home.
like because it didn't work.
Right.
He
They
was
were
trying to
having a good
embarrass
time.
them, but actually the boys were like, "Oh, we're actually like still cool and we can still be confident even though like we're like little chubby guys." And the girls, if we ask them to dance, like they're like, "Okay. Yeah."
Yeah.
Also, when he calls it, the one boy Salami Sam, he might have been the one that
Excuse
sprayed
me.
the breast spray, is full on like making out with a girl.
Oh yeah. He's like,
I was like, "Oh, okay, okay, Salami Sam."
yeah. You go, guy. Do your thing.
Yes. I also was wondering, I was like, is it they must inform them in advance that there might be dances because I was like, why do they all have ties? Like, if I was going to summer camp, I wouldn't bring a tie. I wouldn't bring
Oh,
formal wear.
I forgot all the way in the beginning. I forgot like when they were coming to the camp. I was, why does Jerry have a huge trunk? It's like he could have moved a body in that thing. It's like how
Right?
many?
He's going to Hogwarts.
I know it's like, and then I thought, well, maybe they're there for the summer. And then now when you said that, I thought, oh, because I never thought of. Oh, well, I guess they had to pack a sport coat and a tie, and a dress shirt or whatever, because there might be formal camp,
Hmm.
festivities or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
And
but
then afterwards, Jerry and Pat are kind of talking about like what the camp used to be like, and Jerry's like, "Yeah, because it sucks now." And he's sitting in a go-kart and he's like really sad that he couldn't have done it because he's never ridden in a go-kart before. And he's like, it's kind of sweet. He's like, I'm so slow. It would have been nice to like go fast, right? Like really fly.
yeah,
And then Pat's like, you know what? We're gonna do it. And he pushes him around and they're like sort of narrating like it's like a NASCAR race, right? And you can see the nurse Julie is like watching
yeah. She's
from her
watching them
cabin and she's like,
interact.
"Oh, Pat, that's so sweet." And it's fun and they sort of like crash, quote unquote, and then Pat's all winded and Jerry's like, "Okay, let's do it again." And Pat's like, "Um,
Give,
okay."
give me a minute. Yeah,
Yeah.
let me catch my breath.
Yes. And then late in the night, when the boys are sleeping in Chipmunk Cabin, who should return but a catatonic Josh? He's sort of mumbling and like has this like kind of thousand-yard stare, like,
It's almost like his eyes are rolled up in the back of his head. It's like,
right.
he's got this weirdo look, and he's like, just first he doesn't say anything. It's kind of, it's like he's had a lobotomy or something.
Exactly. That's what someone says. And he like then he kind of is like, "Oh, Josh is here. Josh is here. Who's Josh? Who's Josh?" Like he's just mumbling. And then he's like, "I must be nice to see my ass back here again, huh?" And then basically Josh is like, "My dad is a lawyer and Tony was not trying to refund us, so my dad threatened to sue and now I'm back."
Yeah. What did he
Uh,
say? He caved like it was like a football team.
oh, he
He
caved like the Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. Yeah. That was so funny. I like that part.
Yeah, so then he's the next day he's talking. First of all, he shaves, and I'm like, what are you shaving? Shaving what?
When is it Jerry asking, how long have you been shaving? Oh, a couple of years now.
They're
It's
like
like,
11.
yeah, supposedly. So,
He didn't have any hair on his face. Um,
I,
but then he's talking about like what he ate on the outside. He went to the Sizzler and shut it down.
had the buffet.
Yes.
That
And
takes me back. I remember those days.
and they're inspired by Josh's return and his brush with the outside world. They're like, you know what? We want our snacks back. So they're gonna bust into Tony's cabin and they're gonna retrieve them. Because he's out running and he's like crazy, first of all.
Yeah, he
Like
has this
he's running,
weird, wild routine.
yes, he runs like a crazy man. He's still got that hair that looks like he's been electrocuted. He runs past a log and then he like turns back around and picks it up and is like pressing it while running and he's like, "Come on, you devil log." At one point he runs past Pat and he goes, "I'm dogging it, Pat, I'm dogging it." And it's like Pat's like, "What?"
Well, plus he's got like, I guess is it like some sort of thing like to measure his heart rate or whatever,
Oh
and
yeah,
then
he's
he's
got like it looks like the like that they give you in the hospital. Like he has
right,
like
like
the
a
little
heart monitor
sticker
thing.
for like an
Yeah,
EKG. Yeah.
yeah.
The kids are in his cabin. He has like a poster with like this photoshopped like skinny versions of them. Jerry's like, "What?" It's like Jerry's head on a little skinny kid's body. Jerry's like, "That is not me." And they're trying to like open drawers and cabinets. They find a locked chest, so like surely the snacks are here. And they bust it open. It's not food, but it is their letters home, which
Right,
Tony has been taking.
which never got delivered.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh my God, this man's a psycho."
Yeah, because Jerry says, "So this is the letter I wrote my grandmother."
Right. Sims is the lookout and Tony's coming back, so he alerts them. He tries to he like bangs and then he's like, he's coming, and then he just takes off. He's like, "I've
he,
warned you as much as I could."
yeah, exactly. He books.
And Tony's there, but he's doing some like weird like yoga kind of stretching thing.
Meditation, whatever thing, yeah.
Yeah. He's like
Po-
doing like cobra pose, but he's like breathing fire like a dragon. He's going like ah. It's very weird. And so all the boys are like trying to head out, but then where is Nicholas, who's the little British boy? Certainly he's in the kitchen sitting on the floor eating something. It looked like he
Eating
was eating
some,
just like oats or something.
I don't know, it was something out of a jar or a can or something. I couldn't even tell
It
what
looked
it
like that like
was.
sort of tin thing that like oats come in. I was like, are you just scooping handfuls of oats?
Poor kids.
And then Jerry's trying to help him out the window, and Nicholas farts. And Tony is like, huh? He like hears it and
Here's
can
it,
smell
yeah.
it. And then, but they get him out. They all get out and run away. But then they're all regrouping and they're like, oh, wow, Jerry, like that was great. And Jerry's like, wait, do you hear that? It's a rapper. As a rapper starting with a W.
Yeah.
Because they have like supersonic hearing for fast food. And they find the kid. It's the kid with the from the Les Mis shirt, the red-haired kid, is
Right.
in the bathroom eating a burger, like a fast food burger. And they're like, where did you get this? And then it turns out that there's one of the staff is like smuggling contraband in for them and putting it in this stump, like a hollow stump, fake
Well,
stump
like
in
where the
them.
kid goes, "Oh, I found it."
Yeah.
It's
And they're
like,
like, no.
no, he
So he
didn't
fesses
find it.
up. Then we get a
He
little
didn't.
montage of him putting stuff and people getting stuff while I want candy
Yeah,
plays
right. I was going
appropriately.
to say, yeah. I want candy.
And then it's time for another weigh-in. And it's going to be filmed. And first of all, it's a funny moment when like Tony's like, "All right, let's go." And the cameraman's like, "I'm not filming yet."
Yeah.
And then there's like this are you does that mean you're filming? Like can I can I go? And then it starts out that the kids are gaining weight. Jerry has gained 9 pounds. And Tony's like, turn off the camera. It's like the Perky system doesn't work with cheaters like Gerald Garner.
Poor Jerry.
And then he has him turn the camera on. He's like, all right, next person, Josh. This part is also very funny because he goes, Josh, get on the scale. Get off the scale.
Because evidently it's like it's way beyond what he started
Yes.
out as. Well, he tries to make
Um,
an excuse at one. Doesn't he say muscle weighs more than fat, or
yes.
something like that?
Well,
So
because the first kid only gained like 2 pounds, so he's
two
like, "Oh,
pounds.
it's okay. Muscle weighs more than fat." And then like Jerry gained 9, and presumably Josh gained more. Although to be
we
fair, Tony like shouldn't have counted him because Josh was gone for a time. So,
right, exactly. So
and then he turns the camera off again, and this is actually a scene that. So the Kelsey brothers had Ben Stiller on their podcast, and Jason Kelsey like recited this whole thing because this is his favorite part of the movie.
oh gosh.
Because then he goes like, "Fine, I blame myself," and then he's like, he steps away and he talks to himself. He's like, "How you doing, little Tony? Bad. Why are you doing bad, little Tony? Because it's all falling apart and I can't do anything about it. But it's not your fault. It's not my fault. No, it's their fault." And he says, "You have failed and you will pay. We're doing it at 0600 tomorrow. We're doing a 20-mile hike." And Pat is like, "I don't think that's like healthy." And Tony's like, "Oh, the fat guy wants to tell me what's healthy." And he's like, "You shut up. You are a negativity spreader or something." It's a mess.
It is, yeah. But this is the Kelsey's favorite part when he starts talking to himself and stuff. When Ben Stiller starts talking to himself, that's what they said.
Yes. Yeah.
That
Yeah. And he
that
like
is
it's actually very funny. I encourage people to watch that clip of the podcast because Jason Kelsey's like, "Oh, I don't want to step on your lines." Like, and Ben Stiller's like, "No, do it." And so Jason Kelsey just like recites it.
recites it verbatim, probably.
Like
Yeah,
I said, this
yeah.
is like it's our era. I think
I
like Travis Kelsey's like a year older than me, and Jason Kelsey's like 3 years older than me. So like this is our
right in your wheelhouse, right?
exactly.
Gotcha. Okay.
Pat and Jerry are like sitting on the dock looking across the water at Camp MVP, and Pat is kind of like, Pat is sort of wanting to be like that. Like I want to be cool and like winners. I've never like won anything. I don't think I've ever scored like a point in anything, and I'm tired of being the fat guy. And Jerry's like, "No, why would we want to be like them? They're jerks. Like they're not
Yeah.
cool." And they're like, yeah, they start like kind of yelling across it. They're like, you could keep your washboard abs. We don't want them. And Pat's still talking about he feels like a loser compared to someone like Tony. And Jerry's like, but you stood up to him and no one else has. So that's
Right,
like, that means something. And we all need to do more standing up for ourselves. And like, I'm going to go after him. And Pat's like, well, whoa, whoa, whoa. You don't need to do that. You get the boys through the hike and I will work on things like on my end.
right,
And then the next morning, all the boys have their packs. They're geared up for the hike. They don't get any food though, because it's cleansing.
right. It's tough camp.
Yeah, this is like boot camp. Tony is mixing up his Greek mythology. Like he's talking about Icarus rolling a ball of wax up a hill and getting too close to the sun.
Don't be
It's
like
like,
Icarus.
friend, that's Sisyphus. There's some flavors of Icarus in there, but and it's people. The boys are dropping like flies. Some of them go
Although,
tumbling down a hill.
oh, I was going to say they get up to a certain point, but although I give them credit, none of them quit. Like, just
Yes.
I'm not going any further. They all kept, and they kept pulling each other along.
Yeah.
So,
Especially Jerry. Like one kid almost steps in a hole. He grabs him. One kid falls down.
oh,
Jerry
it was
picks him
like,
up.
yeah, it was like a pit or something with a
Yeah.
piece of wood or something, like an old
Mm-hmm.
abandoned mine or well or something.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Which we'll see again soon. Um, and like one kid like kind of collapses and Jerry goes to help him and Tony's like, leave him behind. He's a straggler.
yeah,
We don't need anyone to help him. No one helped me or whatever. It was like, oh God, this guy. Meanwhile, back at the camp, the adults are trying to figure out what to do. Like they don't really have any hard evidence of what Tony's doing. Like they've tried to talk to people in child welfare, they talk to people who are lawyers. They don't really know what to do, and they don't really have any hard evidence. But then Kenny, the cameraman, walks by and he's like, "Have you seen Tony? I'm so pissed at that guy. He owes me $600." And then he walks away, and then they're all like, "Hmm, light bulb." And meanwhile, back on the hike, they're like at the top of a cliff, and Tony is doing some like Tai Chi weird stuff. And they're like, can we just push him off the cliff?
yeah, because they are on they're on a big cliff. It's like overlooking whatever wherever they're at.
Mm,
So
it's kind of crazy. And then he's like, oh, you guys are doing so well. The hike is going so well. I'm going to extend the hike indefinitely so that we can be prepared to beat Camp MVP in the Apache Relay. And they're all like, what? What? And one kid is like, I just want to have. They're like, he's crazy. He's losing it.
yeah, uh-huh.
And one kid, oh, and well, it continues because one kid says something about like he just wants to have fun, and he's like, oh, you want to have fun? There's like a tree that sort of overhangs over the edge of this cliff, and he jumps up and is swinging from the branches of this tree, like hanging over the edge of a cliff, and they're like, we're gonna die.
He goes, "Why don't you come out here and join me?"
Yeah. And then they start kind of whispering amongst themselves what to do, and he like does a flip and lands right in front of them and is like, what are you guys talking about? And they're like, oh, nothing, nothing. They're like, we need rest. And he's like, okay, 1 hour meditation break. And then we're going to climb that 1,000-foot rock face. And they're like, what? And he's doing some weird fake meditation. He's like, oh. And then they say they make up something to get him to come over. They're like, oh, you can't do sit-ups blindfolded or something.
right, yeah.
They're like, Jerry doesn't believe me that you can do sit-ups. He's like, of course I can do sit-ups blindfolded. There's so many myths about the abdominal muscles or something like that. And so he lays down and they like blindfold him. And then Josh like squats over him with his whole butt out. And so when he does a sit-up, they pull the blindfold away and he's basically got his face in Josh's butt. And then he chases after Josh, which the boys are smart. This was a plan because Josh leads him to that hole, which they've covered with leaves. That hole that was like an old mine shaft or like well or whatever.
or
They
whatever, yeah.
they covered it with leaves, so he ran right on it and fell in. And they celebrate. They're like, "We got him! Woohoo!" And then back at camp, the adults are like, "Okay, we like Kenny, the cameraman, has a bunch of footage, but he wants a lot of money. So, like, what are we going to do? And then Jerry shows up and they're like, oh, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, actually, like, don't worry about what you're doing. We have our own plan. And I love the nurse is like, that's so cute. And he's like, okay. Anyways, come with me.
Yeah.
And they are holding Tony prisoner in like, it looks like it's in like an old boathouse. Like, there's like a cage. He's in a cage and they have him tied up and like gagged.
Yeah,
It's like, oh my God.
they got him like duct tape and stuff, don't they? Don't they have duct?
Yes.
Yeah, they got duct tape over his mouth. That's what it is.
Yes.
Because go ahead and lead us
He's
into
well, first of all, the adults are like, you can't do that.
right.
You cannot do this. I think Tim says they give people the chair for this kind of thing.
Yeah,
And then Pat's like, guys, I'm letting him out. You cannot, this is like not what we're gonna do. So Pat, first of all, like is like, sorry, Tony, I'm gonna let you out. And he takes the tape off a little bit. And then Tony immediately starts talking about how as soon as he gets out, he's gonna kick Pat so hard in the nuts he's not gonna be able to have children or something. And Pat's like, anyways, never mind, puts the tape back over his
yeah.
mouth. And is like, do you guys feel like these ropes are tight enough, or like, do we need more,
Yeah,
or what?
you think you think it's good? Or, yeah, I loved how he just went 180 degrees.
He
Like,
was just like, oh, nope.
Tony,
Um,
I'm so sorry. Look that we did, and as soon as he starts mouthing off, and
Never mind.
that's right. Okay,
You're
baby.
stay
Yeah,
here. They tie up the other counselors, the rest of Team Perkis, including Lars. They like open his shirt and paint some honey on his chest and tell him that it's gonna make bears come. And Pat's like, guys, what are you doing?
yeah,
And they're like, there aren't any bears in these woods. But then Lars is screaming, and they're like, oh my God. And there's just a deer, like, sniffing him.
yeah. I thought that because I was so wanting it to be like a bear, just just walking around, or a little bear, a baby bear or something, but it was like just a deer,
Yeah.
and Lars is freaking out.
Yes, just screaming bloody murder. There's also a moment where the little British boy Nicholas is going up to him. He's like, come here, come here. You gonna untie me? And then Nicholas punches him in the nuts.
Yeah,
But yeah, they're like kind of taking back the camp. They take down all the Perkis signs. They're playing, they've recorded themselves like doing like his sort of like motivational speeches, but they're just taunting him and calling him a loser and smelly and not having friends and having a skinny wiener. They're
wiener.
bringing that one
Yeah.
back. Uh Also, the gate they're keeping him behind is electrified.
And we find that out how.
Yes, because he when they were doing that, he comes at them and he's like "Zzz, zzz, zzz, zzz." He's like Marv in Home Alone.
I know.
And then they all celebrate. They have like a bonfire party, and like someone has ordered a ton of pizzas. They have a lot of s'mores material. Tim, they say he looks like a human s'more because he's like covered in chocolate and marshmallow, like his
Marshmallow.
whole
Yeah.
torso. The nurse also clearly likes Pat because he's like, oh, I'm gonna go over there, and she's like, no, stay here with me.
Yeah, because he says, "Oh, I better go down there and like get him under control." And yeah, she's like,
Yeah.
"No, there,
No,
yeah,
stay with
yeah,
me.
yeah,
She literally says, stay here with me. And he's still like, oh, okay. The boys are benevolent and allies because they are like, Lars, we know you'll be deported if you don't have a job. So do you want to join our side? And he's like, yes, yes, I'm on
yeah."
your team. So shout out to the boys for
That's right.
supporting an immigrant. It's the solidarity we all need. And the boys are going nuts.
Oh God,
There's
they're well.
fireworks. There's a huge bonfire. They're stuffing their faces and like dancing around. Lost their minds.
To be
Um,
fair, they've been deprived.
they have been.
They've had a tough few weeks or whatever it's been.
Yes.
However long it's been.
And this goes to show you that you shouldn't like demonize foods or like be so crazy because then people just like the pendulum swings too far the other way.
Exactly. They
Like
lose their
let them
shit.
have a Twinkie every so often and like they'll be fine. Uh,
Yeah.
and then of course Tony's in his cell like losing it. But the next morning it's like the boys are like their version of like hungover.
Oh my
They're all
God.
waking up. It looks like the aftermath of like a frat party,
Mm,
but they're all waking up in the grass, covered in various like candies, and just like tummy aches, just like oh god.
Yeah,
And
gee, I've never had that happen.
they're
I mean,
like, it's like,
hungover, from a
what's
frat
the
party.
I think it's in Grown Ups, but the girl's like, I want to get chocolate wasted. They're chocolate wasted.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think I need a shirt that says that.
Yeah.
I want to get
Perfect.
chocolate wasted. So,
Yeah. But Pat wakes them all up and he's got the microphone and he's like, listen, we all need to learn some self-control. We need to be in charge of our own diets and we need to get healthy and respect ourselves. We are as good as anybody and we need to start acting that way. And everybody gets on board. And then they're doing things that like you would expect them to be doing, right? Like they all go speed walking, which I love. They're
yeah.
they're doing like what looks like the real Olympic speed walking with like the sort of twisty torsos. And the nurse is teaching them about like nutrition and how to like cook healthy food. Tony remains in the cage.
I like the nurses like showing them like, this is what you don't have to eat like kale and lettuce leaves and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, she's like, this is a tomato. Is it a fruit or a vegetable? Okay, we're gonna make pasta primavera. Like,
I know, yeah. So I could
that's
go for
great.
some pasta primavera, come on.
Yeah, that sounds delicious. Then the parents come. So there, I guess this happens like every summer. There's a point where the parents come to see.
Yeah, it's like Parents Week or Parents Day or something.
Yeah.
So
So they come to like see how they're doing. And
dude, like Jerry's dad.
Jerry's dad is like, "Oh, you
You
look the same."
it's the same, yeah.
And
It's
Jerry walks
like
away and he says to the mom, he's like, "He hasn't lost a pound." And the mom's like, "It's okay, he's happy."
yeah.
Um, and then Pat has made a video with help from Kenny the cameraman. Pat made a video of sort of the summer with all this bad stuff that Tony did and with some creative editing. Like there's a scene with the boys eating a rat, which is a fake rat that did not happen.
It's Josh, and then it is
Yes.
nice touch. Yeah, he says,
Yeah.
I wanted to add a little something. And doesn't
Hmm.
it start out Camp Hope or
Yes,
Camp
or Camp
Hell?
Hell. um Meanwhile, in the cage, Nicholas is currently guarding Tony and he's giving him food and you can tell Tony is scheming.
Yeah,
Nicholas appears to be the youngest boy at camp, so he might be the weak link here.
right.
Tony figures out a way he like shorts out the electric fence.
Oh, he has a fork.
He has a
Remember, he gives him
fork.
something to eat,
Yeah.
and then he puts
Shouldn't have
the
given him a metal fork.
no,
Eat with your
no,
hands, man. But
right,
he
right.
uses the fork to kind of short out the electric fence. And then he offers Nicholas a Hershey kiss. And Nicholas tries to resist, but ultimately he gives in. And Tony grabs him when he comes to get the Hershey kiss because he's like,
Yeah,
just throw it. And Tony's like,
exactly.
but it'll be squished then.
Yeah, it won't be any good.
And Nicholas, oh, poor little boy. So as the parents are watching this video, seeing Tony like verbally abuse their children, just screaming at them, he shows up like in the upper window of this building, and he's like clapping, and then he's like, "Is everybody having fun?"
He's like Batman or something. He's like,
Yes. Just appears in the
I
rafters.
know. Yeah, it's like, dude.
And then he does a flip down and he's oh, ouch. Because he's
Yeah.
barefoot. He jumps up on a table and he's like, I can't be stopped. I'm too strong. And he drinks from a glass and smashes it. First of all, why? I feel like at a camp for children, plastic cups. Why are there glass cups? You need like the plastic cups like they used to have at like restaurants, like the big plastic cups,
Right,
like at Pizza
exactly.
Hut.
Yeah.
Don't have glasses. For
No,
children, you can have glasses at a
this
children's
isn't
camp.
the 1940s. They had plastic,
Yes. Right. It's
you know.
1995. Get some plastic cups. Anyways,
Exactly.
like the washable plastic cups.
Right.
So he's just walking table by table and smashing glass and walking on it with his bare feet. And he's approaching Jerry. He's coming at Jerry and he's
Right.
yelling at him, insulting him. And Jerry's dad punches him in the stomach and he falls down. But then Jerry's dad turns his back and Tony kind of gets up and like sort of karate chops him
Karate
in
chops of
both
it.
like his trapezius muscles. And then he does a bunch of back handsprings across the room, but sort of like flips into like the back wall and like collapses. And they're like, "Oh, we defeated him." It's like, what just happened?
It
Why is
was
he
kind of a non
flipping?
it was kind of an odd sequence.
Right. He was like, aha, and then like flip, 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 boom. It's just like,
He
what?
just sort
Like
of
you,
falls out.
right. You all didn't defeat him. He just flipped into a wall
Oh, right.
for no reason.
And finally, I think just sheer exhaustion just took its toll. Plus the fact that he hit a wall and walked over a broken glass.
Yeah.
So doofus.
And then Tony's dad has to come deal with it. Tony Perkis Sr., also played by Ben Stiller, just with like white hair and like, and he's talking in like he's talking like his dad. He's talking like
Yeah.
Jerry Stiller, basically. He's like, "Oh God, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this." It reminds me of it's the same voice in Starsky and Hutch when he's like they're like in disguise at the party. He keeps going, "Do it, do
Yeah.
it, do
Yeah.
it." You know what I'm talking about? Like it's that
Yes.
voice. But
Plus, he's
he's
wearing
like,
like a tracksuit, like an old mob guy. He's
yes, exactly. Well, he's the lighting king of Western Pennsylvania.
true. Good point.
So he's like, I don't know what's wrong with my son. He's a mess, and he has everything. I don't know what's wrong with him. And he's like, listen, guys, you get your money back. We're gonna shut the camp down for the summer. And then Jerry's like, well, we don't want it to shut down. And he's like, well, someone has to be in charge, and Pat agrees to be in charge. And then like camp is fun now. Like Jerry's writing to his grandma about how much he enjoys it, and we can see that like the blob has been repaired. Maybe they patched
Repaired.
it.
Yeah. I would
They're
have liked
pa-
to seen the blob with like a big thing of duct tape on it,
I know I
where it
was
was
looking for
fixed.
it, but I guess
Yeah, I
it was on
know.
the
Yeah.
top. So
Yeah.
they're like painting murals. They're like sabotaging the MVP guys. So the MVP guys usually come vandalized by boat, and they have taken the engine of their boat. They're fixing the go-karts, and then the last big thing is the Apache Relay. So this is a competition between Camp Hope and Camp MVP
Camp
in
View. Yeah.
multiple sort of obstacles. So
Yeah.
there's like, first of all, speaking of outfits, Camp MVP are wearing like togas. They're like Greek gods. Camp Hope are all in Native American outfits, and I'm like, guys,
I know. I know.
did we have to? There can be
Well,
anything.
it's the '90s,
I
so
know, but it's like there's no other costumes you guys could wear.
I know. I know. I get you. So
But anyways, a sack race and there's running. They got to kick soccer ball. There's obstacle course. Camp Hope like sucks. They're
yeah,
just sucking. So
at all the athletic endeavors. Yeah.
yes, like when the Camp Hope kid goes to kick a soccer ball, he just falls down. Like he
Oh
doesn't even make
God.
contact.
I know. He just it's like a swing and a miss. It's
Hmm.
like
But then we get to sort of the skill and intellect portions, and so Camp Hope catches up, and the next thing is shave the balloon, and the Camp MVP kids obviously are not shaving yet because this kid is like popping balloons left and right, covered in shaving cream. Then you got Josh, perfect, perfect shave on the balloon.
exactly.
They're getting ready. The last leg of it is a go kart race, and Jerry is doing that leg, and they've Pat reveals to him that they've souped up like one of the go karts,
Yeah,
and
he's
so
put a few extra touches on it, as he said. So
yeah,
yeah.
got a
So
new engine and everything. So
right. Yeah.
uh, the trivia and stuff, Nicholas is killing it. Like they have to identify art, and he's just like boom, 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 boom. He's a cultured little British boy.
And then they have to name the vice presidents. And
Yes, they have to name four vice presidents. First of all, he named four that I did not know.
I I was getting ready to say the
I know
same
Spiro.
thing.
He said Spiro Agnew, and I was like, I know who
I,
that. He said John Calhoun. I know who John Calhoun is, but the rest of them, I was like, I don't.
and he's from England.
Right. I was like, how do you know that? I don't know that.
And
But he was.
I did like, yeah, he identified the paintings. It's like, and the artist and stuff. And he goes,
Hmm.
oh, Botticelli, that's whatever it may be. So
Mona Lisa.
mhm.
And then it's down to Jerry in the go-kart, and the kid from Camp MVP drives dirty, tries to like push him off the road basically, but
Oh,
ultimately like Jerry hits like a excellent jump and sort of flies to the finish line.
he's got
Um
like some sort of like booster lever or something, and I
yeah.
guess he's been saving that, and it hits it,
It's
and
like in Fast and the Furious when they hit the
he
nitrous.
yeah, exactly, yeah. So takes off and goes over the goes over top of him, and then
Mm.
lands in front of him. So
And Camp MVP is mad because they're like, we're gonna file a complaint because we should have won. And Pat's like, you want this cup? And he's like, we'll send it back to you. And he gives it
It,
to the kid Sims, the big kid. And he sort of like does a hammer throw, basically. He spins around and chucks it into the water between there and Camp MVP.
yeah.
And literally, kids from Camp MVP jump in to retrieve it.
Well, and the counselor jumps in, like he's
Yes.
gonna, like that was the most important thing to them. And Pat said,
Guys,
yeah,
please develop like interests. Like other something has to be more important than this. Apparently not.
evidently,
Um
no,
and then the guy says you're crazy and then Pat goes crazy about my girl
girl.
and he finally kisses the nurse in like a dip and I was like, "Well, that was like a weird like you know what I mean? It was just like a weird
I know, like, yeah,
transition. Like he's talking no one was talking about that. But they're dumping like coolers on each other. It's like a Gatorade bath, like they won the Super Bowl. And Jerry comes up to Pat, and when he said this, I was like, he talks like he's 35 years old. He's like, "Thanks for the best damn summer of my life." I was like,
yeah.
"You're 11. You sound like you're 50."
He was probably really 18 when this movie was made. I don't know. I didn't see how old he was.
He was like 14.
Oh, okay. So, okay. Yeah, but you're right. He sounds like, it's like it's like a line delivered by a 35-year-old guy instead of a 14-year-old.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was just
So,
like a funny choice of words, but
yeah.
then that's the end of the movie. There's like a during the credits, there's like a Camp Hope song that they sing. At first it's like a sort of boring song. Then they're like, "No, let's make it more fun." And then it's like a funky Camp Hope theme song. And that is Heavyweights. It's a silly little movie that like ultimately I was reading like some of the criticism of it and some people were like this is like two different movies, which I can see because there's the stuff with Tony Perkis, but then there's like the sort of like defeating Camp MVP thing, which feels
Oh,
in some
yeah.
ways like kind of separate, but because some of the stuff with Ben Stiller, it's just like, what? When he did all those backflips, I was like, what is
But
happening?
but it sort of reminded me of the character though in what was the movie
Dodgeball.
Dodgeball, yeah, where he played like the loony kind of person. And I will say, and I guess he still does, but Ben Stiller really was really physically fit. I mean, and still
Mm-hmm.
is, I think. He was cut in this movie.
Yeah.
So,
There's a
because
part where
it
he's like
shows,
only wearing bike shorts,
yeah,
basically.
and I don't know if he lifted or whatever, but you could tell he worked out. So,
Yeah. He was also like 30 then, so as opposed to now
yeah,
he'll be 60 this year, so.
you were talking, it said it also at the end of the credits, and I don't know because I saw it on Disney.
Mhm.
At the rolling of the credits, it shows Tony was selling crystals, healing crystals. Like
Oh yes.
that was his. That's what he had reverted to.
That reminds me of like there's one guy that used to always be on fitness commercials, John Bastow.
I don't
I don't
remember.
remember what he advertised, but he definitely advertised something. And now I see these commercials late at night that are like John's fantastic finds, and he's like selling like yard sale crap. And
Oh
it's like
God,
it's like the same
is it this?
fitness
Is it
made
this?
simple. He
Is
did
it this?
infomercials, fitness made simple. Then he became a social media thing, and now it's JB's Fantastic Finds, a live online auction hosted on Facebook.
Oh gosh.
So
Um,
it's like but yeah, I always think like now I'm like, wait, is like this is basically Tony Perkins.
well, they also compared like his character to there was a person, Susan Powder, that stopped the insanity. She was that was a big thing in the 90s about her. Uh,
Mm.
she was a fitness person about weight loss and stuff. And
Oh,
then,
I know who you're talking about.
she was like she had that sort of like manic energy, about
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I recognize her when I Googled her. For people who don't know, she's like this Australian lady with like the sort
yeah,
of close cropped blonde hair.
yes. But she was big in the 90s because she was everywhere. It was like, she had books and videos and stuff about and I think even a weight loss program or whatever. But but that's I was reading about that as well. That sort of gave that vibe, and that and Tony Little,
Mm-hmm.
who was oh Jesus, he's my age. America's
Yes.
personal
He was the one
trainer.
that was always on the gazelle, right? With the
Yeah, yeah,
ponytail.
yeah.
Okay.
He was always doing this thing, the
Mm-hmm.
the
With that
the
long curly ponytail. Like it looks like it's fake. It looks like it's attached to his hat.
I know it always looked like it was something that somebody stuck on the back of his head. So just saying. Uh
Yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, I think like Tony Perkis, I think is for me of like the movies of the 90s that I grew up watching, like he's sort of a very memorable character. And I like I said, I
oh yeah,
think that like it sort of then turns into a lot of other like I think there's elements of him that become Derek Zoolander, very much White Goodman from Dodgeball.
dodgeball. Yeah.
But I think you could see like little flavors. I mean, it's basically the same character as White Goodman.
Yeah.
But
The
uh
sort of unhinged
yes, like a
manic.
someone who like you can tell just like hates themselves, so they're always like hanging on by a thread, right? Because you see, like Tony Perkis said, when I was 12, I was like 300 pounds, and White Goodman, same thing, right? Like he used to be like very fat, and then at the end of Dodgeball, he becomes fat again.
Bad again, yeah.
So it's like they're sort of hanging on by a thread because they actually like have like a deep self hatred. But yeah, I think like there's just lunch has been canceled due to lack of hustle, like that. What's wrong,
What a
Tony?
what a motivational speech.
What's
Way to
going
get
on,
me
little
pumped up.
Tony?
Yeah,
How you
little
doing, little
Tony.
Tony? Bad.
Why are things going bad?
But,
I
um,
liked it. I thought it was a cute movie, and like I said, once again, it was one that yeah, I thought I knew the movie, but it didn't. So I appreciate you. I like when you pick movies that from this time period, because it would have been a movie that I probably wouldn't have. Well, I didn't. I didn't choose to see it when whenever it came out and stuff.
mhm.
So,
Well, a lot of
although
people didn't apparently.
evidently, so, but as you said, it later on became a cult or cult favorite. So,
Hmm.
hey, if the Kelsey boys like it, then it can't be all bad, right?
Yeah,
Just saying.
yeah.
So,
So yeah, but I think I'll like again not to be like too serious about it, but I also do think that there is something that it's like, hey, what if we all just like were kind to ourselves and like
yeah,
took
yeah.
pride in who we are. And then like, in taking pride in who we are, we can take care of ourselves, but also like we don't have to like be like jerks about it.
Right.
We can
Or
just be like,
be so obsessed with it,
yeah,
it's
an
like,
extreme.
yeah, yeah, maybe that's I was reaching for extreme. It's like, moderation in everything,
Yes.
yeah, a little, treat or little whatever it may be, just as long as you don't overdo it in anything, whether it's, overeating or over exercising or whatever it may be. So, of
Okay.
course,
Yeah.
I'm not one to give out life's advice, but I'm just saying. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, me neither. Like, and
no,
listen, I also come at this from a person like I was like I was a skinny kid. Like I started playing soccer when I was 4. Like I was never like a fat kid, so like I don't know like what that is like too. So like I guess
yeah.
easy for me to say, but
No, but
um
it's just it is what it is. But
if I knew a fat kid or like had a fat kid, I wouldn't be a jerk to them.
yeah. I mean, hopefully in this day and age, especially, now of course this movie's 30 years old now.
Yeah.
We're going back a ways, but yeah, today it's like in anything, humiliation and degradation don't work. I'm sorry, and
Yes.
then you don't have to be a doctor or a psychologist to know that or to figure
Mhm.
that out. The
Mhm.
more you make fun of people or the more you down or downgrade them or whatever you want to say about it, is the worse they feel about themselves. They're not going to
Mhm.
feel better or, oh, I'll try harder, or I'll more like, why should I even bother?
Yeah.
Anyway, but lighthearted movie. It was fun to watch. I will
Mhm.
say that I did enjoy watching it. So, and it's not a long movie.
No, only like 90 minutes, so
Yeah. So, I mean,
um
it's good. if it is on Disney Plus. So
Mm-hmm.
if anybody, if you have it, if you want a little bit of a lighthearted hour and a half to maybe perk yourself up and get a little bit of Ben Stiller back in the day.
Yeah. And some good cameos from other, right, you get a little Paul Feig, you get a little Peter Berg randomly, and some like funny, like early Kenan being
Oh
very
my God,
funny.
he was
And
so good in
the kid who
this.
played Josh, I think was like
He
I would
was
put him
good.
after Kenan. Like,
Yeah.
but Kenan is like one of the funniest people in this movie, like including all the adults.
Well, you brought it up, and I don't know if you said it before we recorded or after, but his timing is so good in
Mm-hmm.
this, and you could just tell. Like I said, we were talking about this about other movies that we've seen where at the time you didn't know who this person was or what they would become, but you could see this. It's no surprise that Keenan's where he's at today based
Mm-hmm.
on this.
Yeah. Yeah,
He's just
for
so
sure.
good. Just
He
he's
is.
just
Like he was
yeah.
funny around this time he was on All That, which is a show I watch. It's sort of like a children's version of Saturday Night Live from
Oh, okay.
Nickelodeon. So it's like sketches, but they're a little more like absurd because it's like
Yeah,
children. But like he
children.
was funny on that.
I'm sure
Like,
he was. And thankfully or hopefully, luckily that for the rest of us, it turned out, he's had a long and very good career. So, he's selling cars
yeah.
on
Yeah.
TVs. So
Yeah, but check him out on SNL. I think that Keenan is consistently one of the funniest people on SNL. Like
easily.
he could have like a one line in a sketch and it will be one of the funniest in the sketch. Like he'll just come in and like just like get you. Uh
And sometimes I think not even he didn't even have to have a line. His just facial expression or his
mhm.
reaction. He does
Mhm.
a really good job of what we used to call mugging for the camera. It was like
Yes.
you would go. Somebody would say something and they'd cut to Keenan. And he would just like
Mhm.
give a look or something, and you just start laughing. So
Yes.
uh,
Yes. Agreed. Agreed. Well, that was heavyweights.
not about
Any
boxing.
not about boxing. It's about fat camp. Anything else you want to add before we wrap up, Jim?
Nope,
Well,
nope.
think
I'm good. Thanks again
good.
for your recommendation. As always, it was a fun and cute movie to watch.
Good, good. I always appreciate your open-mindedness to watch movies that I enjoyed when I was like 7. So,
Not a problem. So I haven't been disappointed. Seriously, not at
good.
all.
Good. Well, thank you all for listening. Be sure to subscribe wherever you're listening to this so you can get all of our new episodes delivered to you when they come out every Monday. Please leave a rating, review, a comment. Hopefully it's nice, or else we will be sending you on a 20-mile hike at 0600 tomorrow. You can follow us on Instagram at Some of Our Parts Pod. You can see all the movies that we've talked about. There's quite a few and very diverse. And one day I will finish our list of most common actors and I will include information on that there. I'm getting close. You can also see little previews of what's to come and whatever else strikes our fancy to share. And with that, bye bye.
Take care.
And lunch has been canceled due to lack of hustle. Deal with it.